Very dear students and my colleagues, today I'm going to record a very short video on the most interesting incident as I perceive in the drama Arms and the Men. And here, this drama is about war, about the happenings of war, and then about men and women of that age. If people need to know more about the introduction of this drama, you may be able to see another video of mine on the same channel, which is on the introduction to this drama. So I'm starting right to the incident which I want to portray. This incident occurs in the first act and the first scene. It's really very interesting. That makes us understand number of things about men and women of the age when this modern drama is being written by G.P. Shaw. So let us see what is the kind of scene, what is the source of interest, and what does it teach to us in this drama. For this purpose, I need to show you some part of the text, and here it is visible. For example, it is the start with Raina, the protagonist, female protagonist of the story. She says, "Who's there?" The match is out instantly. "Who's there? Who's that?" Now, these two, three lines are shown to highlight the anxiety of the young, beautiful girl who is inside her room, and it is expected that some soldier, some runaway soldier, possibly may enter into her room, and that is why she's having the feeling like that somebody is entering because the room is dark and the window is open and somebody is trying to pry it open and enter into the room. So that's why she's putting certain questions. And in the answer to that question, we have a man's voice who's actually Captain Bluntsheri. He says, in the darkness, subduedly but threateningly, "Shh, don't call out or you will be shot. Be good and no harm will happen to you." She's hard, leaving her bed and making for the door. "Take care, it's no use trying to run away. Remember, if you raise your voice, my revolver will go off. Commandingly, strike a light and let me see you. Do you hear?" Another moment of silence and darkness as she retreats to the dressing table. Then she lights a candle, and the mystery is at the end. Here is a man of about 35, and he is, in a deplorable plight, bespattered with mud and blood and snow, his belt and the strap of his revolver case keeping together the torn ruins of the blue tunic of a Serbian artillery officer. So rest of the thing is not that important. First, we need to talk about this kind of passage that we have entered. Here in this passage, we see that a soldier who is from the defeated army enters into the room of the girl as it is suspected, and whole the first few pages of the drama are dedicated to this kind of entry of the soldier, which is suspected that it can happen, and does happen. That the soldier who is from the defeated army, he is having mud on his dress, he's having snow on his dress, and he appears to be very much in bad condition. That soldier is able to come up into the room of that very beautiful girl, Raina. And there he threatens, first of all, that his revolver can go off if she raises a hue and cry, and therefore he orders her not to do anything, not to say anything, otherwise the gun can short, and he asks us to put on the light so that it could be visible. So dramatists use this technique of showing the soldier by putting on the candlelight, and it is possible to see that it's a man of 35, he's beautiful, young, and he's an army man. So in this way, the introduction of the scene takes place, that it is Raina, it is the soldier who was present in one room. Raina is the most beautiful girl in the drama, and the soldier is going to be one of the defeated army persons. And that soldier has entered into the room of a girl who is all alone in her room. Room was dark, but not light, and that is why it can be seen, or both can see each other. Let us see what the thing of interest possibly is there. It's like a very short, beautiful, romantic story where the knight or the soldier is there and the beautiful girl is there, and the romance is going to develop in a drama which is about war, and that is the very beauty of this drama. Let's see what happens further. For example, here you can see that the scene carries on the same way, that the soldier is inside, and the ending of the description by the writer shows, "Excuse me, my disturbing you, but you recognize my uniform, Serbian. If I'm caught, I shall be killed. Menacingly, do you understand that?" Raina, yes. So another identification of the soldier is there, that he's from the Serbian army, which is defeated, and he's on the runaway, and that is why he could be killed as well. But then the text says, "Some soldiers I know are afraid of death, man, with grim good humor. All of them, dear lady, all of them. Believe me, it's our duty to live as long as we can. Now, if you raise an alarm, You will soon shoot me. How do you know that? I am afraid to die. Ah, but suppose I don't shoot you, what will happen then? Why, a lot of your cavalry, the greatest blackguards in your army, will burst into this pretty room of yours and slaughter me here like a pig. For I shall fight like a demon. They shan't get me into the street to amuse themselves with. I know what they are. Are you prepared to receive that sort of company in your present undress condition? So here is the beauty of the scene which begins. There you can see very clearly the dramatist is bringing two situations side by side. That one soldier is carrying possibly a gun and he's threatening her to shoot. But on the other hand, he uses a very civilized way in order to control the lady and addresses her in a very civilized and cultured way by saying, "My dear lady." And he highlights the point that if the gun is shot, definitely soldiers will come and they will butcher him, and this type of scene will be quite ridiculous and quite bad and insulting for the young lady like her. So that is why he says that she should not raise any alarm. So it is less the shooting of the gun which is keeping the woman in control. It is more the kind of insult which can come to her, or the care of the soldier to save that lady from the insult that comes to her. Now, how an army man like that can be so careful, it is very amusing that he is taking care of the lady. And this is the very thing which will definitely bring some kind of positive corner in the mind of the lady. And that is the beautiful thing about the drama, which is about war. So the soldier seems to be less a soldier and more a romantic lover of the beautiful woman. So that is why this is the incident which is going to prove itself the most beautiful one. Let me take you into more details. For example, if we go beneath, we can find Raina with dignified patience, only to get my cloak. Man crossing swiftly to the ottoman and snatching the cloak. A good idea. No, I shall keep the cloak, and you will take care that nobody comes in and sees you without it. This is a better weapon than the revolver. This is a better weapon than the revolver. That is the condition which the man is putting. In the last lines, we read that Raina is in a condition of sleeping dress. She's not wearing her overcloak, and that is why the gentleman which has entered into it, he takes benefit of that and says that it would be good that the people should come and look at her in the sleeping dress. Instead of that, she should wear the cloak, but he won't allow her. He says instead of revolver, this is a better technique. So how beautiful the technique of saving the woman from the disgrace is being shown here, and not to use the weapon is being shown here. That is the kind of care this Captain Bluntshelley, who has entered into the room of that girl, he's trying to show for her. So in a way, he's a very clever person. He's able to deal with the women. He knows what are the ways and tricks to keep the women safe, and probably in a good way to control her instead of using the kind of weapon which possibly may be carrying because of being a soldier. And in that way, if you continue to read the dialogue, you will find even more fascinating details. And at a certain moment, when Raina becomes very much interested in that soldier, she says to him, Raina, petulantly, nonsense, sir. You can see there is no one on the balcony. She throws the shutters wide open and stands with her back to the curtain where the man is hidden, pointing to the moonlit balcony. A couple of shots are fired right under the window, and a bullet shatters the glass opposite Raina, who winks and gasps but stands her ground, while as Catherine screams and the officer, with the cry of "Take care," rushes to the balcony. Now, this is very interesting scene here, that the soldier who was the source of threat for the beautiful girl right now has become under threat. The situation has reversed because he has been discovered possibly by the soldiers, not discovered in that way, that they got some kind of hint that a defeated army soldier is possibly present there. So the whole home wakes up, mother of the girl, Catherine, wakes up, other people come and the soldiers come in order to find out him, and the soldier declares that he would like to go down through the balcony, but it will be very difficult thing for him. He could be hit, he could be shot, and here the motherly instincts of Raina wake up, and she tries to hide him by saying that he cannot do this kind of thing. She would be saving him. Now this is very interesting to know that an army soldier who is an opposite army, an enemy's army, that soldier is being saved even by the woman who is under threat of the fire of the men. That is possibly the difference between the behaviors of men and women towards army, towards fight, towards taking blood of the other people as well. So let's see more what kind of details we can have. For example, here going beneath, we have another speech which takes place between the man and Raina. Man says, "A narrow shave, but a miss is as good as a mile. Dear young lady, your servant to the death. I wish for your sake I had joined the Bulgarian army instead of Serbian. I'm not a native Serbian. More details about him, that he is not the Serbian person. He may be a Swiss or Swedish, as he has pointed out later on. Rainer, no, you are one of the Austrians who set the Serbians to the robbers of national liberty and who officer their army for them, and we hate them. Austrian? No, no, I don't hate me, dearly young lady. I'm a Swiss fighting merely as a professional soldier. I joined Serbia because it came first on the road from Switzerland. Be generous. You have bidden us follow. Have I not been generous? No, well, heroic, but I am not saved yet. This particular rush will soon pass through, but the pursuit will go on all night by fits and starts, and must take my chance to get off into a quiet interval. You don't mind my waiting just a minute, or do you? So here more details about the soldiers come up, that who he is. He is shown very cleverly by the dramatist that the soldier is not Austrian soldier, he's neither Bulgarian, and in that way he's not the enemy. He says he's a Swedish one, he's not Austrian at all, but then he says that even if he is Swedish, his life is under threat. The lady says that she would be saving. So very cleverly, the feelings of Raina have been brought under control by the dramatist by saying that she's not loving an enemy, she's loving a man, a person, because he doesn't belong to the enemy army. He says that he's a professional and he can join any army on the payment of money instead of becoming the part of the regular army. So as a result, he becomes a person who's neither Australian, nor Serbian, nor Bulgarian, but he's a Swedish person. So by adding the touch of being Swedish, that adds even more beauty to the image of that man. And that is why he requests her that he wants to stay there for some time. Is it okay? He can stay there. If the lady wants to save him, he possibly may be staying there for some time. Let's see more of the details that possibly we can have in order to understand further. For example, man, grinning wearily at the sarcasm, he takes the pistol. No use, dear young lady, there's nothing in it. It is not loaded. He makes a grimace at it and drops it disparagingly into his revolver case, loaded by all means. I have no ammunition. What use are cartridges, battle? I always carry chocolate instead, and I finished the last cake of that hours ago. Raina, outraged in her most cherished ideals of manhood, chocolate? Do you stuff your pockets with sweets like a schoolboy? Even in the field, I wish I had some now. Raina stares at him, unable to utter a feeling. Then she sails away scornfully to the chest of drawers and returns with a box of confectionery in her hand. Allow me, I'm sorry, I have eaten them all except. She offers him the box. So this is where the war scene becomes the love scene, because here we can see that the army man who's carrying a gun possibly doesn't have any bullets in it. He says therefore and proves also that he doesn't carry any bullets with him. Instead of that, he carries the chocolates with him. And Raina is very much upset to know that a man who's a soldier who's going to fight should be carrying chocolates with him. So that is the difference between this soldier and the other soldiers who possibly go to take the life of the people, and he has gone in order to enjoy his chocolates, you can see. And the same thing he is looking for in the room of Raina, and Raina also provides him a box of confectionery, and in that way he becomes a chocolate soldier, a chocolate hero, instead of a person who is really a soldier, a fighter. He is simply a chocolate soldier. Okay, then more. Going down the line, we can see here, Raina superbly frighten me. Do you know, sir, that though I'm only a woman, I think I'm at heart brave as you. I should think so. You haven't been under fire for 3 days, or I have. I can stand 2 days without showing a much, but no man can stand 3 days. I am as nervous as a mouse. He sits down on the ottoman and takes his head in his hand. Would you like to see me cry? Alarmed. No, man. If you would, all you have to do is to scold me just as if I were a little boy, and you may nurse. If I were in camp now, they would play all sorts of tricks on me. Raina, a little moved. I'm sorry, I won't scold you. Touched by the sympathy in her tone, he raises his head and looks gratefully at her. She immediately draws back and says, Stephanie, you must excuse me. Our soldiers are not like that. She moves away from the ottoman. Oh, yes, they are. There are only two sorts of soldiers, old ones, young ones. I have served 14 years, half of your fellow never smelt powder before. Why, how is it that you have just beaten us? Sheer ignorance of the art of war, nothing else. Indignantly, I never saw anything so unprofessional. So these lines again take us to the war front, where the a real need of the men and women at the war front is that they should be carrying some kind of weapon with them, and with that weapon they should defend themselves and they should kill their enemy also. That's the kind of war which is going on. But here we find a soldier, he's not that much, equipped with the weaponry, and that is why he says that if somebody lives under the threat of the war, threat of the bullets, and threat of the shots, and threat of injuries, at that time it's very difficult to tolerate the scenes of bloodshed. And the girl says, Raina says that she's also as brave as man. He says, no, there's no matter of bravery. Every soldier has to bear all that. Every soldier remains under the threat of war. Every soldier has to feel fear of death also. So that is why some kind of anxiety occurs, and she is therefore, he's not so brave as the soldier should be. So that is why Raina can scold him as well. Raina can say bad words to him as well, and this he allows, but Raina has more sympathy for this person, and so does not say even a single word against him. Let's go more and see what other things we can find in this scene. Here you can see the scene is continuing, and Raina is deeply wounded because of the utterances which the person has said. With the passage of time, Raina becomes more and more sportive to this person, and she takes here what? Raina Corley, thank you. And now I will do a soldierly thing. You cannot stay here after long what you have just said about my future husband, but I will go out on the balcony and see whether it is safe for you to climb down into the street. She turns to the window, man charging continents down that water pipe. Stop, Raina. Come, don't be disheartened. She stoops over him almost maternally. He shakes his head. Oh, you are a poor soldier, a chocolate cream soldier, a chocolate cream soldier. Come, cheer up. It takes less courage to climb down, and the face captures. Remember that. Now, when everybody has searched the room, and Raina wants him to go in through the balcony by hanging with the pipe down from where he had come, at that time he becomes even more fearful. He becomes and shows his fear as well, and he up to some extent refuses to go. But Raina says it's very easy to go down, there will be no problem at all. And she asks him to go because he's spoken against her husband, and so she wants him to go down. But he shows such a countenance, such a shape, such an appearance that he says that he's not a very courageous soldier, rather he's a chocolate cream soldier. And so she begins to take care of that soldier. It means that her motherly side, her soft side is broken because of the soldier, and her fearful side, her threatening side and war side doesn't open at all. So that is the success of soldier, and ultimately the lady calls him a chocolate cream soldier. So in that way, calling him with lovely names, that goes to show the interest of the lady. And then the man says, I shall sleep as if the stones were a feather bed. Goodbye. He makes boldly for the window, and his hand is on the shutter when there is a terrible burst of firing in the street beneath. Raina, stop. She seizes him recklessly. They shall kill you. Man, never mind. This sort of thing is all my work. I am bound to take my chance. Now do what I tell you. Put out the candle so that they shan't see the light when I open the shutters, and keep away from the window. Whatever you do, if they see me, they are sure to have a shot at me. Raina, they're sure to see you. It's bright moonlight. I shall save you, or how can you be so indifferent? So this is the way how the soldier begins to take care of the lady by telling her that she should keep the shutters blocked, and she should keep the lights off, so that when he opens the shutters to go down, he may not be seen. And equally says that possibly he may be shot. And at this time also, Raina becomes more interested in him by saying, okay, don't go down. I shall try to save you at every cost. So she is there to save the soldier. She is trying to save a person who is soldier, who could be the enemy also. And she becomes therefore a savior instead of the destroyer of the same soldier with whom she was so upset in the beginning of the scene. So Raina says affectedly, I tell you these things to show you that you are not in the house of ignorant country folks who will kill you the moment they saw your Sabian uniform, but among civilized people. We go to the Bucharest every year for the opera season, and I have spent a whole month in Vienna. So this is an irony that on the one hand you are calling yourself a person who is civilized, who is culture, who is against killing. On the other hand, the continuous wars go to show the difference of opinion. So one can say that perhaps men fight and women do not want to fight at all in that way. So therefore, more and more discussions are coming about, and the father is being discussed, and then the boy who is going to be the the fiance of the girl is also discussed in that way. The whole family ultimately comes to know that there is a man inside the room, and that man goes out as well after some time. So you can see that in all these lines, a very interesting incident has happened, that a soldier who has entered into the house into the room of a girl, a helpless girl, of course. He has entered there, and instead of harming her, he tries to show his softer side, doesn't show his harder side, and becomes the chocolate army man. And on the other hand, the girl also tries to save him. So on the one hand, killing of the people is going on, war is going on, more the deaths, more the victories there. This is the situation going on. But in a room where the girl is present, romance is developing. That first of all, it is the appearance only. Later on, it's the talk of the soldier. On the third point, it's the innocence of the soldier that prompts this lady in order to become kind to him and to save him as well. And she saves him in the best possible way. So this is what I call love germinating out of war. That love can come anywhere, sleep can come anywhere, things can happen anywhere, and the same thing happens here in this first act. The meeting that takes place between the girl and the boy in the room of the girl, that makes the thing different, that makes the things feel that the world is still alive, still love is there, still happiness is there. So in that way, if drama is taken in this sense, it gives more amusing sense, more attractive sense. Hope to see you in some next video with some other interesting scene of the same drama. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you think so, hit the subscribe, like button, and do not fail to comment on the video.